This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across Skol Nation. Get ready for deep dives, spirited debates, and exclusive insights from Coach Cody. We're celebrating our community, honoring our heroes, and fueling your fandom with Pillars of Valor coffee. This is more than a show. It's a movement. This is Vikings United.
Handy.
Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. I'm representing Skol, the gang, you know the name. It's a Minnesota thing. Put that on the purple blood that's running through these golden veins. Hail, sleet, snow, or rain, regardless, we gon' go to games. $1 billion stadium on Sundays, they don't close the bank. Fail rarely, get your tail buried. Give his JJ to JJ on Hail Marys. I'm like Aaron Jones, I see the field clearly. Gain 150 yards off of 12 carries. And 2 tugs, I see you crack a can of ice cold whoop ass on the Packers fan. Downtown Minneapolis, we pack the stands and put our hands above our heads when we clap our hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. Now clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. I said clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. If you from Minnesota, let me know. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota notice. I'm known to Skol and then blow the coldest and Skol until I got scoliosis. So when we Skol, we so ferocious. So just way before 84 was the dopest. We showed you who the purple and the gold is. If you from Minnesota, let me know. Right now. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota. And gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla.
Well, welcome into the Scene Project Sports Network. I'm your host, Bubba Starts. You are here tonight for Vikings United. Got a brand new video out there. Same badass song, though. You all know what it is. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Big B, running the ones and twos, or soon to be anyway. I'm going to put you in charge of some shit, B, for sure. You're doing a bigger part of the network. And always, Coach Cody in the house, coming off that big dub.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I can't wait to dissect that game either. That was, it was a preseason game, but man, you guys took names and did your business.
Yep. We definitely handled that belt, but it's nice. It was actually surprising how well we did. Just because as soon as we got done with tryouts and training camp, we didn't practice once, and then we didn't make it in time for the walkthrough. So that offensive line, I mean, I brought the quarterback, a wide receiver, two wide receivers. And so for everybody just to gel like they did and, the results speak for themselves, everybody was ready. So we got a big test, though, coming up.
Yeah, incredible stuff, man. To watch what this team and a lot of your guys have been a team before, right? So while the team is it's a new look, it's a new name. A lot of these guys have been together, and I think that kind of speaks to why you're able to walk in maybe a little unprepared, but once you step onto the field, a lot of these guys are just able to gel and play ball.
Oh, 100%. I've known most of these guys for going on 3 years. Excuse me. Most of these guys, yeah, for 3 years, but they've been playing with each other longer. So the communication's all there. They're familiar playing with each other, so the chemistry is there. And then we just go along our way and pick up a couple new pieces here and there, and everybody's like a family, honestly, and we want the best for everybody else. No weak spots, even our depth players. So we make sure that everybody's caught up to speed. There's no selfishness like on this defense, on this team, really. So that just makes it welcoming for the newcomers. I had plenty of newer players to the squad, I guess you would say, come up to me and they're like, damn, like, I've never felt like this, like a part of a team like this before. Like, they're like, I feel like I've known this group for 3, 4, 5 years already. So,
no, that's always good to have that chemistry, especially in that short amount of time that you guys don't even get to practice. I mean, you're here with your defense, the offense is there to have that chemistry, but what's it like? I mean, arena football is a little different. We could probably break down a lot more later because I know we got a lot of Viking stuff to talk about. But as a coach, what's it like to be on the field during the gameplay, not on the sideline? I mean, I saw you on the defensive side, rooting you guys out. What's that like, though? I mean, that vantage point, does that help you, Coach?
Yes, absolutely. And then just being that close to the game, like you can be on the sideline and see one thing, but you get closer to the action, you're going to see more. So it was hype for sure. That was my first time stepping on the field. Last year, I had an OC and a DC, and with our headsets, we communicate that way. But it was definitely a blast. And then you got the the home crowd chirping with you, just cheering you on. It was exciting, just a different atmosphere, having a home crowd with us, having the music blasted in between plays and PA announcer. It was fun. It was pretty packed there too. So even on Valentine's Day. So shout out to the community out in Gillette. You guys showed a lot of love.
Yeah, well, not a lot happening in Gillette. So I and that's no shot at them, right? But they don't have a lot. So it's nice to see the community show up and support what they do have, right? I think that's so important for a small community, because if you don't have that, then you lose it, right? Like if you don't support these teams, and then everybody likes to, oh, well, we don't have anything fun to do. Well, it's like, well, if you don't go out and support the things that you do have while you have them, then they fade away. It takes a lot of money to put these things on. And without people coming and spending money for tickets or concessions and all of those things add up, like it's not cheap to even rent these buildings to go in. Most of these teams don't own the buildings that they're paying. They're paying rent on those. So you're helping to literally pay the rent on the building. So, I think for us, like starting to talk about it more and giving people maybe some inside baseball to what these smaller leagues go through. This isn't the NFL, right? Like it's most of these people are doing it for love of the game. And because they just want to play ball, these players aren't making a lot of money, barely, probably not even enough to cover what they would have made staying at work that day or to, and we're not talking about practices that they're leaving their families and their jobs for, like the trade-off isn't there financially. It's all just passion for the game of football.
Yeah. Our goals as coaches is to elevate these players, and to develop them on and off the field to get them as high as they can go and achieve the most that they can. But, for some and for us right now, this is our NFL, so act like a professional, prepare like a professional, perform like a professional, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's going to tune into these games, see your film, and give you a call. I've had a bunch of coaches from higher leagues reach out to me asking about players. I'm having players text me and let me know, hey, I got a UFL coach or an AF1 coach looking at me, and that's what it's all about. That makes me happy.
Get out of here, Steve. He ain't wearing green and yellow, man. It ain't happening.
Steve's still on that, huh?
What up, Steve? Thanks for joining, brother.
What up,
we appreciate you tuning in, man. We're just taking a few moments off the top here, celebrate with Coach and the Wyoming Cavalry's big win. Really proud of you guys, man. Proud of the team showing up and doing their thing. One preseason game. We're not going to bank it all on there, but 56-0 is no small feat. So, oh, damn. Check these new freaking graphics out, boys.
Ooh, that is nice. That is nice.
Oh, I got a whole slew of them, too. Don't you worry. I'm going to be adding stuff in all night.
Yeah, the graphic of that and maybe SPSN might look good on the borders there in Wyoming. I mean, just saying.
Go take all that Packers talk over to some green and gold podcast. This is the purple and gold. We love you, Steve. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Well, Steve, there's a job opening with the Packers. I mean,
there you go. That could be you.
Yeah,
Steve.
exactly.
Steve
Stop feeling our guy. You take
special teams.
Love it. No, that banner would look nice over in Wyoming, though. I heard that.
We're saying, man. No, what's funny is that I got a few other ones that were more like almost the cavalry colors. So I'm gonna throw some more. I'm excited.
So,
I just ran until like 5 o'clock, so I haven't even had time to really do anything with them. I was lucky I got the video together, to be perfectly honest.
So Cody, what happened towards the end of the third quarter there with fight? People got thrown out. The other team literally walked off the field. The announcers didn't know what was going on. I mean, what were they telling you? I mean, because the announcers I think this game's over with. I mean, so
they told Cody to stop throwing haymakers and get the hell off the field.
No,
this team was throwing haymakers, all right.
So yeah, there was a fight that broke out. And first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to my players. A lot of other teams would have emptied benches, and it would have been 10 minutes in order to de-escalate the situation. Most of them have been with me before, and they know. I told them before the game, I was like, hey, we expect every game to go out there and put a belt to someone's rear. And so I'm like, when we do get up by a certain amount, tempers are going to get up there.
The announcers are even saying that too. The tempers are going to fly here shortly.
Yeah, I was like, don't do anything. Let them talk, laugh it off. I told them that at the beginning of the game. I told that to them at halftime too. And the ones that have been with me before know what's up. I told them, and I emphasized, we're professionals. We're in a professional league now. You guys can get fined. You guys can get suspended. Let's not do any stupid shit, especially in an exhibition game. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them for sticking back, because I know some of them are really like that. So, but yeah, no, it was just tempers flaring, fight broke out, and then while they were figuring out the ejections, CNY Blue Devils team started picking up their bags and walking out of the arena. And they earlier in the game, one of their players on kickoff or kick return. We were on kickoff. One of the returners got flipped over the boards.
Yeah, I saw that.
And just they were pretty hurt, like injury wise.
Yeah.
And so after the fight broke out, they were just kind of fed up. But huge shout out to AJ, the owner for the CNY Blue Devils, and the quarterback. Showed a lot of class coming back out and finishing the game. We even got to talk afterwards, and it's a lot of respect on both sides.
No, I get the respect and stuff like that. You want to play all 4 quarters and stuff like that. Preseason game, would you guys, yeah, you guys would have probably been hurt yourself that you couldn't finish the game, but if they're having injury problems, what do you guys say? Just, okay, let's wrap it up. It's a preseason game. This doesn't mean nothing. Go back, get better. See you guys in a couple weeks if we schedule you guys again. Would there have been no harm and foul if they would have said, "Hey guys, we got to call this game"?
Yeah, no, I think there wouldn't have been any like bad blood if they would have called the game. I was trying to get as close to the refs as I could.
I know you were. I saw you.
And,
I saw you trying to sneak in there.
Yeah, and at one time I could have sworn I heard one of the refs say, "Well, can they go with 7?" And I'm like, "Oh." So, but we were able to finish the game and finish it on a high note.
So, they had what, half a dozen drives, and 2 of them were inside your 5 to start.
Yeah.
You guys just put a licking, kept on ticking, and after that first turnover you guys had inside your 5, I'm like, okay, shutout's gone here. They're gonna punch it in, and your guys stepped up. Your defensive line stepped up. Your linebackers, or however they're called. You guys stopped them. I think they even had a fumble on the next player a couple plays later. So props to you guys all. I know football, you got plays, you got to be where you're at here and there, but do you give maybe your defense line be like, hey, if you think you can get by this guy every time, just go for the blitz every time? What is your philosophy?
It all depends on the rhythm of the game, honestly. Okay. If we've been eating all day, green light, pin the ears back, get gone. And our defensive line did work. Everybody on the defense did work. Everybody on the team, but everybody on the defense did work. We had a couple of injuries ourselves for a little bit, and people were able to plug in and play. A lot of my players are versatile, so they can go from corner to linebacker to jack to safety, just like that. So.
No, I tell you, on the offensive side of things, that running back, Speedy, oh my God, I'd hate to see him in a 100-yard dash with somebody, because that guy, just on a short field, looks quick. I can't imagine what he looks like on a full-size football field.
Well, he's tough too. He's the one who flipped the dude over the boards, and that was a huge hit. And then
I want to say he's a receiver, tall dude. That guy looked. On screen he looked like he was like 7'5". I don't know
So we got 2 of them. Number 13, Cam. We call him 6'7", just because he's 6'7". And then we got Matthew Lauer, number 6, and he's 6'4". So we got a mixture of height, and then you throw a little bow in there, and he's just all speed too.
God, yeah, you guys scored at will. You guys had a short field to score, do your work on, but man, you guys scored it every way possible. So good.
Where does the CNY team stack up against the rest of the league? And how many teams are in your league, Cody?
So in the North Division, I believe we have 6 to 8. I think there are 2 new ones that jumped in, and then I think the same amount in the South Division.
Okay,
you're a big team. And how many games do you guys play?
Right now we have 6 left, but I'm pretty sure we're adding a 7th one. I got off the phone with the owner of the AIF earlier today.
Cool. Well, good luck.
So any interdivision games, or you just play your division and then go against the other one come playoff time?
A little mix of both towards the end of the year. But
Awesome.
one more thing is 56-0, our starting quarterback didn't start until like second drive, third drive. And then, take into account, we haven't practiced with each other or anything. When we really get rolling, it's going to look nasty.
Yeah, it looked bad. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, I'm watching it. It was like, you guys, every time I turn around, you guys had the ball, you score. You kick off, 4 plays later, you guys stopped them every time. So why the announcers kept saying, teams don't want to go for field goals there to get the extra point, they'll go for 2. Why is that? What makes that so that you don't want to kick a field goal?
I mean, I don't really have anything against it. We just didn't have a kicker at that game. He wasn't able to make it. But I mean, I'm down for kicking it. I've even last year a couple times. I think we were 2 for 4 on 4-point plays instead of the 2-point. So I mean, it all depends on how it's going. If I'm up, 17-0 or something like that, up 17 and had just scored, like I'm probably going to try to go for that 4-point play just to put it out.
Okay, yeah, they just the announcers just made it sound like there was something with how the layout was that it's hard to kick or stuff like that. So
they were struggling with the names too. Like they kept Anthony Sanders, he had a pass deflection and then an interception, and I think they kept on calling him like Joseph something Jr. I'm like, who is that? That's not even on the team.
That was good that he got the redemption though after that. He dropped one that was in his hands, and then got to pick a couple plays later. So, props to your team, and good luck for the whole season. I can't wait to break down all those games with you and Bubba here, and hopefully we're talking a lot more W's on this side of the camera than we are other sports. So
yeah, and you know what, boys? Speaking of talking more ball, I just got off the phone before we jumped on with the head of the Developmental Football Association of one of Cody's other jobs, and we are in talks right now about being the exclusive home of broadcast for that league. So, we might be busy come this summer covering some more outdoor football and.
Hey, if I got the time, man, I will be there. I know my son was kind of looking forward to going to some Bears games last year, but yeah, if we got time, I mean, I can try to get off, and who knows, maybe my schedule will change by then to where I'm fully open. But yeah, I'm hyped. I'm to be able to do this stuff as a hobby, and maybe make it a semi-career, but just be able to talk ball, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, throw in there, curling. I'm all about talking things. Wrestling, I definitely want to, just get out there and just have some fun.
Yeah, well, it was really awesome, and shout out to Aaron Anderson and everything that they're doing up there with the DFA. I know, obviously. Now, what was his affiliation? Was he one of the coaches of the Minnesota Warriors as well?
Yeah, he was part of the organization. I'm pretty sure, like in a GM spot. Okay. Ownership spot. So I've known of him for a little while. Just gotten to a partnership and a collaboration with him, and turned out he knew me and my family before anything, because he used to work with my mom. So it's a small world out there.
Yeah. Well, and I know that all their games are going to be in one place in Shakopee, which makes it easy for us as a broadcast team to know exactly where we're going to be. They're going to run 2 games every time that they're there. So yeah, we're in early talks right now, but looking forward to being a lot more involved with that organization. He told me they filled somebody for the Twin Cities Tundra team. I thought Cody got another job. Turns out I don't think that's true, but you never know. It was really, being general manager of a football team isn't something that I've seen, but I know the business that goes into it, right? The seeking of the sponsorships, the building that business, not necessarily the team building. I think that somebody can learn that side of it. To know football but not know the other side, I think is much harder, right? I think that you can find people who know ball that can help you to build out a team of players. It's a lot harder to have to learn how to, and Cody, you can speak to this, to find your stadium rights and agreements to play and practice in, and to find sponsorships for the teams to come in and have those business conversations, and to do both. Like you were with the Bears on the GM and head coach side, that's a massive undertaking. It's a massive undertaking. And to try and wear all of those hats at the same time. And speaking for someone who does it all with the scene projects, and the North Sports Network and all of those things, where I'm not only the on-air talent, but the behind the scenes business face of everything too. Like, it's a lot of freaking work, man. And this is nothing. Right? Like, I'm not managing a team or a league full of players as well. So yeah, it was a great excuse to get on the phone with him today, talk about what we can provide as a network, especially with B becoming more a part of this. I don't know if we want to go ahead and announce that tonight. B, I'll leave it up to you.
We can announce it. I am still going to keep a little bit over there with C2C, but try to keep our partnership going. But I am officially at the end of February going to be 100% over here with Bubba and Cody, and working on some new shows, hopefully a baseball show, wrestling show, just trying to get out there, and just grow myself and, Bubba's company here, the Senior Project, and just have some fun. We're learning right now. I'm learning even more every day that life's too short. Just go out and have fun, do what you want to do. I wish like I said, back in the day, I wish I had this entertainment stuff back in, getting out of school, because I would have done a lot more with it. But yes, I will be joining 100% with Bubba here on the SPSN network. So,
man, well, we're thrilled to have you. First thing he did, Coach, he sent me his new photo. Jumped on the AI caricature, and it's all SPSN to the max. And it's like, man, that's a good look for all of us. And B, I'm so proud to have you as part of our organization, everything that we're building here, covering more Midwest sports. And we've been talking about going harder for a while, with my production teams that want to get out and shoot some more sports things. I got guys that work for the Memphis Grizzlies that are tired of the travel schedule with their NBA and doing that side of it, that they want to do their own thing, and helping to figure out all of these things, from the rights and the, what it takes as a camera operating crew. And we would love to be, part of that as broadcasters, but as, a business behind it, to bring this, bring these leagues to the people and to bring them to them in their homes. We already have distribution contacts with OTT platforms on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. So to bring these things not just onto YouTube and things like we can do, but to take them one step further and to have them actually on people's TVs inside of their homes, on their smart TVs. And I think that's going to be a really powerful thing. And maybe our first test here, possibly with the Wyoming Cavalry as the season goes on. We got to have some more conversations with the is it the AIF? Is that what it is?
Yes. Yep.
AIF,
I just got the owner of the league. I got his number. I just got it today. We had a nice 45-minute phone call. So I think we can make some, we can just let me cook. We're going to let that simmer. And the same thing with that is, like, we have a long-term vision of this. If we've been able to build up, for us, the Scene Project Sports Center, our flagship is this Vikings United show, right? So if we've been able to build up, and I got to 100 subscribers faster with SPSN than it ever took me with my other network, right? In the matter of a few months, we got to that 100. We're clipping along at a pretty good rate right now. If we can start to bring in more teams and leagues and coverage that we're doing, the trajectory is straight up, and we're bringing that paddle to whoop up on the other, networks. There's just not a lot of networks that are doing what we're doing and committing to these smaller leagues to do that. Everybody wants to cover the big teams, and that's fine. We do too.
but it's always to me been about covering. I mean, I cover my high school football team here in South Dakota. We cover a lot of other things, and the cavalry being a part of that, DFA being a part of that, and just continuing to grow in this field. So I'm really thankful to have these experiences that we're having now, and where it all goes from here and growing with it. So would love to be, I think we're going to sneak into some draft coverage, man, unless you got anything else before we get into some NFL coverage.
No, let's get into it. Kind of been watching the Wire the last couple of days. Miami looked like they released everybody except for the water boy the other day. It would be nice to maybe see Mr. Hill in purple and gold, but right now with the salary cap, I don't think we're going to see it. I think Minnesota's going to probably start firing off some releases here probably within the next couple of weeks to get under the cap.
Next 48 hours. Let's go.
Yeah. I definitely think we're going to be seeing some cap casualties on our side of the ball soon. They got to figure out something. I know, Kirk Cousins' name's been brought up because he's going to be cap casualty in Atlanta, so maybe he comes here for a cheap dollar. But a lot of people are saying he's going to want to start. I don't know about that, but yeah, let's get into definitely.
He's looking at it like if Flacco can start games, damn it, so can I.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's just the next man up, but yeah, I think right now Vikings focus should be 100% O-line. I know we're going to talk defense today, but I think the O-line should be definitely one of their outlooks here. Definitely a solid backup quarterback. Somebody to replace Mr. Harrison on the hitman on the defensive side. Definitely got to find a good leadership on that side. I mean, Cody could definitely, he's probably just got called for another job interview somewhere. That's why he's off. But
let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors. And
yeah,
we're going to come back. I want to show off some more of these new backgrounds that I made too. So we're going to change scenes, run a quick ad for our sponsors, Pillars of Valor. Of course, shout out to Pillars of Valor Coffee for supporting the program and being a big part of what we're building here. And then we're going to come back with some Minnesota Vikings centric draft talk. So hang with us. We'll be right back. As we cheer on our Minnesota Vikings, let's also recognize true heroes. Pillars of Valor Coffee isn't just about exceptional taste. It's a veteran-owned company with a powerful mission. With every purchase, you're directly contributing to programs that empower and support veterans and first responders. Imagine starting your day with a rich, bold coffee that also fuels a vital cause. Pillars of Valor Coffee is dedicated to making a tangible impact, honoring those who've served our nation and communities. Join them in their mission. Visit pillarsofvalor.com to learn more and get your bag today. Pillars of Valor Coffee. Great coffee, greater purpose. Like I said, big shout out to Pillars of Valor Coffee, always supporting what we're doing here, keeping us caffeinated during these long nights that we're going to have ahead of us, especially with the draft coming out. So what I did, B, is I had ChatGPT pull me the top 5 prospects in cornerbacks and safeties. So, got some names to run through, a little bit of breakdown, and then I would love to. Coach went to get his notes. That's where he went. He's back now. I'm assuming he probably did a little bit of the same stuff, although he's been doing it. So, Coach, just what? So I ran a little bit of ran some ChatGPT interference on the top 5 cornerbacks and the top 5 safeties. I'm going to rattle off some names, give a little bit of, breakdown on the player. And then I want you to kind of chime in and tell me what you think about each specific player. Is that all right?
Yeah, because I bet we got the same players.
I would assume so. So starting off with the cornerbacks, first one on the list here, Mansour Delane out of LSU, one of the most scheme versatile corners in this class, about 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's a physical press man guy who can walk up on the line and win with his hands, but he's just as comfortable playing off and driving on routes. This past season, he put up around 45 tackles, had 2 picks and 11 pass breakups, and you really see the instincts on tape. He finds the ball early, rarely panics with his back turned, and he competes at the catch point. He looks like a plug-and-play outside corner with CB1 upside. Mansour Delane, cornerback, LSU, whether he's going to be available with that kind of a, draft profile at 18 for our Minnesota Vikings is probably rare, especially with a guy that has hands. I mean, 11 pass breakups and 2 picks playing cornerback. That's a lot of ball action. I know he's obviously playing in the SEC as well, but should this guy drop, is this somebody that the Vikings are targeting with that first round pick?
I would say for corner, yes. He would probably be, I know a lot of people want that Terrell from Clemson, but just based off of Brian Flores and his system, I mean, like he loves corners who can survive on islands, man coverage, defensive backs who can blitz, tackle, and play downhill, safeties who can rotate late and wear multiple hats, obviously, with Metellus, physicality and mental processing over pure speed. I mean, this guy, like you said, he's got strong ball skills. He's battle tested in man coverage, fluid hips for mirror assignments, which is critical in cover 0. If my projection, if I was thinking like Flores, he'd be a boundary, outside cornerback, capable of just surviving and just being physical. 6 foot. I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully we can find that corner or that DB. I think, the last DBs that we really went after in the first round, Jeff Gladney, was he one of them? And probably the last one, and then Trey Waynes before that.
Scenes or whatever, the kid that got hurt.
Oh yeah.
So looking at ESPN's ranking here, they got Delane number 1 at the position, 16th overall. So I mean, there's a chance he could be sitting there. Looking at the top 3, and I'll let you guys, but I mean, we could possibly get a solid corner at 18. I mean, if the cars fall the way they should be.
Yeah, no. I mean, other than that, we'll have to see. I mean, I wouldn't be upset about it. He is 22, so he is up there. But if Flores isn't going to start a young cornerback, like a young one, so he might be a good fit.
Yeah, and exactly what you just touched on there is that I think it's an age thing. It's a maturity thing. It's a, how much ball have you played? Can I trust you with that experience level that probably keeps Flores from putting a lot of young guys out on the field, as well as size. I mean, the days of having cornerbacks that are 5'10" are long gone, right?
Yeah.
A lot of coaches, when you expect these guys to play on an island, good luck guarding some of these guys, your AJ Browns, your Justin Jeffersons of the world, being 5'10", with, 48-inch arm, right, or whatever. I don't even know what an arm length is that's justifiable, but you're just not going to be able to play that. The league has changed, right? It's bigger, faster, stronger as always. So where it used to be a rarity to see cornerbacks that were 6 foot tall, now you're seeing guys that are 6'1", 6'2", that are out there playing, that can body up with anybody and really take some of these big receivers out of the game.
No, absolutely.
And you can probably thank Minnesota for that, for drafting Randy Moss back in the day and everybody trying to cover him. So I mean, it might have started with us drafting these tall, lengthy receivers that are good, and pretty much put the 5'10" corners, DBs obsolete now because now you need somebody that can be 6'2", 6 foot to 6'2" range.
Awesome. Ready to move on to our next corner?
Let's do it.
Awesome. I'll hide this. So next one on my list is Jermod McCoy from Tennessee. Is your classic ball hawking SEC corner, about 6 foot, 193 pounds with legit play strength. He put together a big 2024 season with 44 tackles, 4 interceptions, and double-digit pass breakups, then lost most of 25 to an ACL. Even with that, evaluators still see him as one of the top corners in this class. On film, he's patient at the line, trust his eyes, and when he triggers, he closes fast. At the medicals check out, McCoy has the look of a starting outside corner who's going to take the ball away on Sundays. Now, this is probably going to be maybe a day 2, day 3, kind of targeting, you would think, with the medicals. These guys don't usually go on, in those early. Could be a late, second round pick in there possibly, right? But with an ACL in last year, you're really, really banking on that 2024 tape and how good he looks. B, any news on McCoy, whether he's going to be ready for the draft combine?
I'm looking on his little bio here. They're not saying McCoy's length and frame to compete for 50-50 balls. I mean, that's about it. I would probably push combine. That might be something that comes out in the next few weeks or so, but
you got to imagine he's pushing to try and get there as a player for sure. Because if he lost most of the season, probably got hurt early season, maybe September, October.
But he's still,
these days aren't really, they were season enders and like into the next season. They used to be now a little bit different for a college kid than an NFL player. But I mean, guys are making it back in, tearing an ACL early in the season and making it back before the playoffs now in the NFL.
Yeah, ESPN's got him, ranked number 2 of the corners, number 20 overall. So it's a guy, like you said there, Bubba, do the Vikings or any team want to take an early selection on him? I mean, maybe it's something late first round, early second, third. I would be surprised if he drops past the third round.
He'll have to have a heck of a combine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's going to be the day 2, day 3 pick. I wouldn't, that ACL being, missing that whole 2025 season. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think we pass on him.
Yeah, well, we're just in the position where we can't really take those flyers right now. We need guys, especially early on, that can start, right? Like they got to play, or maybe not starting. They're an impact player, along the side. Biggest fan in the house. What up, Nicole? Thanks for tuning in. She always says hey to Cody. What about me and B, Nicole?
I know. It's like, come on now, show some love. But I mean, the only McCoy, he's got length. So that's going to help him try to defend these passes. That's why he had 4 picks and double digits pass deflections. If he was going to find a role in this defense, it'd be press heavy, outside defender. He could do that.
Well, and I think the first year, Cody, like you said, Flores doesn't like to play too many rookies, so he might, definitely be a backup, especially a special teams guy. But coming out that injury, you're working him in slow. I mean, he's probably not going to be on the, opening day roster right away unless he's showing some kind of
right. And I just don't find us in a position where we're going to take a guy high in the in that second, even a high second round. Like you need that second round to start. That's my opinion. Your first 2-3 picks need to be impact players filling in starting roles on this team. And, after that, if he does drop into that third round and you're able to kind of snag him, then you can kind of talk about a fit as maybe one of these hybrid guys like Flores likes to use, and in one of those kind of different positions. I could see that becoming something more there.
Yep.
Well, and he is young. He's the youngest player on my list here at 20 years old. So that, along with Flores not liking young corners and that ACL, I don't even think we'd take a flyer on him.
Yep. So as far as the Vikings are concerned, he might be number 2 on ESPN's board, but probably farther down the list with the Vikings, just knowing where they're at. And so many holes on this team, they don't necessarily have to bank on one position.
Right.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, now we're going to talk about Avion Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson. This is one that we're hearing a lot of talk with. I know some of the guys that were on with us before, a couple weeks ago, we were talking some draft stuff with Norsvius and some of our other big fans here. But Avion Terrell at Clemson brings juice and playmaking to the secondary. Around 5'11", 180. He's twitchy, sudden, and loves to play downhill. He filled up the stat sheet with close to 50 tackles, multiple sacks, nearly double-digit pass breakups, and even forced fumbles. He's aggressive in run support and as a blitzer, and he's not afraid to stick his nose in. You're drafting him for that combo of competitiveness and ball production, a guy who can play outside or in the slot and change momentum with splash plays. To me, he sounds like a slot corner in the NFL all day. Sounds like a guy that would fit really well into some of those hybrid roles that, a heavy blitzer that B-Flow would definitely love to have on the team. B, where are they slotting him on like the big boards, the top 100, if you will, in the ESPN and the bigger draft boards?
Well, right now I'm seeing him hanging around the middle of the first round there. Overall, ESPN's got him ranked number 3 overall in the corners. Definitely 22 overall. So I mean they're picking so far from what I'm seeing is this is going to be a first round defensive heavy side of the ball. So definitely. 14 pass deflections. From what I'm reading here, it looks like he's a guy that can read the quarterback, has that instinct that Flores likes to, maybe jump on a play. So definitely something to watch out for. Again, a guy that doesn't seem like he has any injury problems now, knock on wood. So it might be a guy that the Vikes could target, if they decide to stay at 18, or maybe they slide down and, if they think they got a couple guys that they can get a little bit later in the first round.
Yeah, because the first one we had up there, Mansour, he was 20th. Is that right on the big board?
16.
Okay, so both of these guys are kind of in play for that 18th pick. Things always change up. Guys always end up being a reach. Very rarely, I feel like, are people reaching for a cornerback. I feel like those positions are some of the ones that tend to fall. I think it really ends up on like where the rest of the board falls in. A couple of the needs we've talked about, obviously, your offensive line needs a little bit of help on that side. To me, this cornerback, for the value that the pick is in the league now, I think it feels like we're going to end up getting one of these 2 or maybe 3 guys. Like, to me, McCoy's probably not in that conversation, but you're kind of looking at your A and B picks are either, the kid from LSU we were just talking about, or this Avion Terrell from Clemson. For me, that's probably what I'm looking at as GM, assuming that somebody doesn't fall down, that's at a premium position that you maybe weren't expecting, be it an offensive lineman or possibly tight end. I think we need to get a lot better where tight end, that's going to be an interesting conversation, I think, in the draft room, because I feel like the value between those 2 players are the same, right? We're not drafting a quarterback in the first round. We're not drafting a left tackle in the first round. So as far as like the big board goes of value in that round, you know, a lot of these guys that you see come off tend to be in those more premium positions, right? So to me, cornerback, tight end, wide receiver in that space. You know, I don't think we're picking wide receiver this early, and we'll get into more of that probably next week with our draft coverage. Little teaser for you guys on what homework to do the rest of the week, just to kind of cover these two sides of the ball. But to me, I really feel like we're looking at like these two guys that we've been talking about as our 1A, 1B in that first round.
See, you know, you called it with Terrell. You know, I feel like he would be a good nickel slot cornerback. Would be a matchup weapon, and coming off the slot as you know, blitzing. I think, you know, I see something there, but my top pick is coming up right now, I believe, for sure, 100%.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see. Now we're talking Brandon Cease, cornerback from South Carolina. Brandon Cease from South Carolina might have the gaudiest interception numbers, but the coverage tape and traits are why he's climbing boards. Right around 6 foot and a $190, smooth in and out of his breaks and comfortable in man coverage. He stays in phase downfield, doesn't panic when the ball's in the air, and you see a lot of competitive reps against top SEC wideouts. For teams that want to live in press and trust their corners on islands, Cease looks like he's a really clean first-round profile.
Okay. I mean, B, what do you got?
From what I see on the big board, you know, right now they just have them, you know, like you said, climbing up the board. They got him overall on the big board at rank number 30, but fifth on the projection. But, you know, what I like is what Bubba just stated. I mean, it's something that, you know, and it, you know, again, we know this board is going to change 300 times before the time of the draft, because people are going to start spreading rumors. The combine times are going to change. So, you know, if he's there, I mean, it might be something that Vikes, this might be where they, you know, could potentially drop down and be like, hey, we can get this guy that is ranked higher. I mean, maybe nice to be in the Vikings board or draft room right now and see where they're thinking.
I mean, where was he from? What was the college?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. All right. I mean, just being able to lock down a receiver and stay in phase all the way down the field, you know, some corners get away from that. So that's huge, actually. And you said he was 6 foot or 6'2"?
They're
right around 6 foot, I think. 6
yeah,
foot.
they're listed at 6 foot.
I feel like he'd be a decent D2 or day 2 player, draft pick.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's kind of the Vikings are all the way back at pick number 49 in the second round. But can you package together maybe that late third round pick and move up to get into that 30 to 35 range where maybe he's available? That'll be interesting to see. So just to kind of rattle off for everyone who doesn't know, the Vikings, we talked a lot about that number 18 pick in the first round, pick number 49 in the second round, which is 17th. In line, pick number 82 in the third round, which is the 18th in line there, and then pick number 97, which is the 33rd pick in that round. In round 5, they have pick number 161, which is 23rd of that round, and round 6, pick 194, which is 15th in order in that round. Pick 234 in round 7, which is pick 18 in there, and then pick 240, which is 24. So you're kind of middle back of a lot of these rounds, what I can see. So if you want to get to one of these guys that are sitting at some of the top end of those, you know, the later rounds as you're moving, and you want to get back into those, you have a little bit of capital to trade with some of these later round picks that you have a couple in the later rounds to package them together to move up and to maybe move up into that top not in the top half, but into that top third necessarily. You're not going to get all the way to the top of the second round, but maybe you could get up into those to reach for somebody. And this, to me, that's where you probably see this player falling into if he does fall into that range.
Do you have a D'Angelo Pons?
Not on the cornerbacks. No. You got a profile on him?
Hell yeah. B, help me out.
I think we know who Cody is looking for here.
Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, D'Angelo Pons. He's a quarterback out of Indiana.
Yep.
5'9", 170 pounds, aggressive, high effort defender, strong tackling willingness, excellent processing for disguise heavy schemes, which is right up our alley. He could be that hybrid nickel blitz specialist, just a chaos creator. I think this is Indiana.
From Indiana.
Indiana.
Hey, national champion now.
What are his grades, Big B?
Well, right now they got him 11th overall in the corners. They got him 78th overall on the big board. So I mean, there's somewhere, he's probably got a lot of upside. That's all they're showing on him, but
But see, this is where somebody like that could fit, and that actually fits into the Vikings board to me because he's going to be undervalued, right? So talking about those picks, right? That 80th overall, or what'd you say, 78th overall?
78th right now. He's listed.
So you have those 2 third-round picks at 82 and 97, right? So you could package together maybe one of your 6th-round picks with your 3rd to move up a few picks to maybe get this guy in that, middle of the 3rd round, which makes it a more valuable pick. And you're kind of blessed. I love how much Cody loves him. Little undersized. I think that's probably what's hurting him. But a player that fits into these kind of hybridized roles that is the B-flow defense.
Absolutely. No, yeah, this is my pick for sure, cornerback wise. Just watching, because I've started paying attention to Indiana when Signetti came to coach, and this dude's coming up with play after play. I'm actually surprised here. What was he? He was 75th, 78th?
78th overall.
That's crazy.
His size hurting him, man. I guarantee you that's the knock on him across the board. Because
the fact that Indiana hasn't been that powerhouse like they showed this year. So
right.
I mean, they were undefeated.
But the last corner that I have on mine, Chris Johnson, San Diego State, 6 foot, 195, 21 years old. I don't even know why they gave me this one, because it says physical frame and tackling value, scheme versatility, upside, special teams value, projected role, rotational corner, dime defender, special teams contributor. Like 7th round undrafted free agent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that does sound like a guy that will be Mr. Irrelevant or somewhere down there. I mean, unless his combine numbers change and his personal workout changes, he's gonna. I don't know why he's up that high either. I mean, they got him 7th, I think, on the big board here. No, they got about 4th overall in the position, 29th on the big board. So. Yeah.
No, the last one I had on my board with the picks that or the players that got sent to me was Colton Hood, cornerback from Tennessee.
Yep. He's number 6.
Profile on Colton Hood. Colton Hood at Tennessee gives you that physical outside corner archetype team loves. 6 foot, mid 190s, strong at the line of scrimmage, and really effective in press. The ball production is still coming along. Just 1 pick this past season, but he consistently stays glued to receivers and forces tight window throws. He's patient in his pedal, flips his hips well, and tackles with some pop. Hood feels like a high floor starter type who might not always lead the league in interceptions, but he's going to quietly erase his side off the field.
Jets might be looking at him because he's got 1 more pick than the Jets' whole team, so Jets might be taking him.
Yeah. I mean, not bad stats. You guys. Oh my goodness. Coming
Yeah,
from
we are
Green
just
Bay.
I would do one round. I couldn't do
This is not a mock draft. This is not a mock draft. We are just giving some player profiles. We have till fucking April, dude.
Who said this was a mock draft? Get it together,
Calm down,
Steve.
Steve.
Calm down, Steve. We got this, Steve.
Take a chill pill, man. We'll get to our mock drafts later in the season. We're just doing some quick player profiles at a couple positions of need for our Minnesota Vikings. We know that you guys over in Green Bay need everything, as starting with a special teams coordinator. So we'll do profiles on those maybe some Wednesday for y'all. Yeah, so Colton Hood, what you got on him, B? Where's he at on the board?
Colton Hood, they got him 6th on the position for the corners, 35. So early second round, they're saying overall grade of 87. So, it's somebody that,
once again, you're talking a day 3 guy, 3rd, 4th round. We're maybe talking about, where we're finding these players at. Which is good because that's where the Vikings have their picks.
And they seem like they've been doing a little bit better with the midday, 2nd, 3rd day, late round picks more than they have been for the first round or second round. So, but like
I would like to see them not try to be the smartest guys in the room, right? Like,
and I was just going to state that I want to see the Vikings not be reaching or trying to outsmart everybody and and be like, oh, we found this guy, we could draft him now. We're stealing somebody's pick, so yeah,
we don't need any of that any of those shenanigans.
When you're at 18, you take you got to take a need, but you got to also take the best person there. And
and that's why the way that we're kind of starting our profiling is realizing the needs of the team, but also, and we'll get to quarterbacks and the things like, and I'm kind of stacking it up at the front end of our coverage with positions that we feel that we need. Yeah. And we're going to talk a lot more about those. We're not going to talk about quarterbacks a whole lot in our draft coverage because we just don't need it. I think we're going to talk a lot about these cornerbacks, talk a lot about the safeties, tight end to me. The draft needs board is maybe 3 or 4 positions deep. And I don't mind if they double dip on some of these positions, right? Because you need to get better. And for me, I think the offensive line woes are fixed in free agency. I think that your, the running back situation probably fixed in free agency. Not that you're not drafting maybe a guy in the 3rd round, but I think you've seen enough that you like what you have with Jordan Mason. He's probably, to me, going to be your starter next year. Assuming Aaron Jones is cut from this team, you're going to lean heavy on Jordan Mason. Maybe you pick up a young guy, or you're able to grab a lot of these running backs that you can get for damn near league minimums to come in and to take 10 carries. Like, how many carries are you going to ask of a second running back on this team anyway?
Yeah, no, and you're right. I mean, I'll let you find. I'll let you turn into what the Saints used to have with Kamara and I can't think of the other guy. Ingram, where they can both take 10 carries and they both have 70 to 100 yards and maybe a touchdown or 2 between them. But yeah, right now, Mason's probably penciled in as your starter unless you find somebody gets cut, or you call Cody up. He's probably got about 7 names in his back pocket on teams that he coaches that will fit the Vikings. So
facts. Honestly, man.
Well, but so much of it is just the coach's inability to know how to use a bell cow running back anyway, right? Yeah. So what's the point of wasting a high draft pick on something of that nature when it's not going to get used? And I think B-Flow coming back and getting that big contract and kind of like we said, becoming the highest paid defensive coordinator in the league. Yep. You've been throwing the man freaking scraps and he's been putting it together. Why don't you go give him some elite talent and see what he can cook with then?
Yeah, honestly, because I mean, we've literally been just scraping the bottom of the barrel through free agency, just grabbing whoever would fit. Not even the best person, but whoever would fit cap wise and stuff like that. So, I mean, he's able to polish a turd, I guess.
So right now, looking up here, they're saying the Vikings needs premier need is center, upgrade their secondary, specifically targeting a top corner. They got Brandon Cease or Hood out there, and a safety to replace Harrison Smith. So their top five is corner, safety, D line, running back.
Exactly why we're covering DBs on our first piece of draft coverage. Man. We already know. See how
what? I'm gonna make a sign.
I don't even have ESPN. Like, this is how good I am. I'm just watching the team play and go, this is where they need to get better. I called the cornerback thing out of training camp last year. I watched the first preseason game and it's like, we are cooked on the outside. What the hell happened? And I don't think anybody really expected that, but there was immediate problems at outside corner. And if I'm B-Flow, I'm looking at it and going, you guys got to get me some dogs out here. You got to give me some dogs, because if I don't have them on the outside, the whole damn thing falls apart.
Yep. No, you're exactly right. So,
yeah, the center thing, to me, I think you're getting a vet. I think you're getting a veteran center. You're not gonna draft a center you're out of college and put him in that position anyway. Maybe if you were drafting in the top 10 and you were going to get the best center coming out of college, but young centers don't play in this league. It's just not something that's out there, and you're going to have some people available. So are we ready to move on to safeties now, boys?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, talking about dogs, I think everybody's going to recognize the name at the top of this list. Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. Obviously, a lot of talk about this young man, and for good reason, coming out of a program like OSU, right? I mean, the Ohio State. Caleb Downs from Ohio State is the headline safety in this class, a true do-it-all defender, around 6 foot 205. I bet B-Flow loves that. He put up nearly 70 tackles for loss, a sack, and a couple picks, forced fumbles, and the advanced metrics love him. He can play deep middle, rotate into the box, a roll down over the slot, and hold up in coverage. His instincts and angles in the run game are outstanding. He feels like he's 2 steps ahead, and he's a reliable tackler in space. Downs projects as the type of safety you can build a secondary around for the next decade. God, B-Flow's got to be drooling over this kid. Where do they have him on the big board, B? It seems like he's going to be out of reach for the Vikings.
Yeah, he's going to be about 13 picks out of reach. They got him ranked number 5 overall, first in the position. I mean, like you said, it was a name that ain't going to shock anybody. So, I mean, it's one of those things where, looking at the top 5, there's some teams that could use a solid safety back there, especially if you could, if they're projected that you're going to build this team over the next decade around this guy.
In that range, and what else could they need? What I'm interested in, and who else is picking up there that maybe you could start to deal with? Because to me, Grenard could be a really good trade piece moving into this draft that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about. Because of the emergence of Dallas Turner at the end of the year. Is there a space where you're not trading picks to move up, but you're trading a player, especially at that outside rusher, to trade up into that spot and to get a player, trading your first round with Grenard to move up and to get somebody like this? To me, that this is maybe the one player on the board at all, because he's your new Harrison Smith, right? He's your new 15-year starter at the position, the leader at a position that is important to this team, to the coach that would be in that. If you could look at the big draft board and just kind of see who's going to be in that 5 to 10 range.
Nope, I got it. So Giants at number 5. They got a young defense. That guy would probably fit there. The Browns, their defense is already solid. You add another piece there, I think they're going offense. Washington, they're kind of up and coming. I mean, they could go many different ways. Kansas City, another team that's kind of, what are we going to do after we didn't make the playoffs? They might be looking at the Bengals, another team that, kind of has a pretty pretty decent defense. And then you got at 11, you got Miami, who just pretty much released a whole bunch of players. So they're kind of rebuilding. And then you got Dallas at number 12. So Dallas would be what I'd be scared about.
Surprise, because I don't think he's going to go 5th overall. You got too many teams that are going to reach for quarterbacks, and you're going to have edge rushers. So I bet this kid gets drafted somewhere in the 7 to 10. Steve said in his mock draft, Vikings took Jared McCoy, the quarterback from Tennessee that we talked about.
No. If the Vikings are going to move up,
Cody is out on Tennessee quarterbacks, or he's out on Steve. I can't decide which one it is.
I'm going to make Steve a sign, and just every time he wants to pop off, it's just relax, Steve.
I think if the Vikings are to move up, they're going to have to wait to see what Cleveland does because, like I said, Cleveland's got a stud defense. They don't want to, lose too much of that. But I think they're going to have to get ahead of Dallas if they want to move up there because Dallas, they like to have a strong defense too, and they just traded away a couple pieces this year. So, they might be fighting in that range. This is the guy that they want to target. And,
like we said, it would be a massive deal. It would be the biggest surprise of the draft to see somebody trade up and to trade a player of Grenard's ability.
Yeah.
Now, him coming off the pec injury is going to hurt you a little bit, but he would be worth a first round or an early just by himself, right? So if you're getting a late first and Grenard to move up, I mean, you're moving up 10 spots essentially, right? You're moving up that 8 to 10 spot range. That's got to be some juice, right? And I don't think that you're wanting to trade a next year's first to maybe do that. You're looking to cut some cap and to move a player anyway. I think that would be a dream scenario. That would be to the right team. You would have to have that, and the player would have to fall into that. But I'm just kind of throwing out a hypothetical. A lot of things have to go right. That would work in the Vikings' favor, because you have Dallas Turner kind of emerging and being more productive on that side of the ball and in that role than he was kind of playing the Andrew Van Ginkel role on the other side.
But the downside of trading a player is, until we figure out our cap situation, I mean, we kind of pretty much are stuck right now. So, I mean,
well, that would be twofold, right? You would trade a big contract for a young player and a first-round pick that fills a position of need, taking away from a position that you're already pretty strong in. Like I said, it has to be a dream scenario, and you'd have to have a lot of moving pieces in there to work. To me, the team that you're trading with is the Browns. That Caleb Downs is there, and you're going, hey, we're going to give you the other side of the ball to put opposite of Myles Garrett, right? Like to put opposite of your now, you would be the envy of the league with those two guys on there. Now, I know both of them play from that side of the ball and coming from a traditional 3-4 that Grenard does. Maybe it doesn't quite work, but you're kind of, I don't think that the Browns are going to necessarily pick there because of their team needs, right? Like they need players on the offensive side of the ball. If they're going to be building around Shedeur Sanders, like they need fucking 7 wide receivers.
Well, and that's what I was just going to kind of throw out there. Is there a draft day value for Addison to help move up in that 6th range with the Browns?
I don't know if his value is enough to get you up that many picks, but you may be able to package him with another later round pick as well to move up that far. To me, Grenard's like the one piece that you have that's a proven commodity that would get you up those, because he's essentially another first round pick. Right? Or maybe a high 2nd round of value that put on there. Steve, Vikings top needs, we just went through them a minute ago. From ESPN and the other analysts, they're kind of saying DB, whether it's cornerback, safety, and then center. I just don't think
defensive line, running back.
Did they really put center as our first top need?
They put him as one of the top 5. I mean, in their little description, it was you could try to get a premier center, but corners were next, and then D-line, and then so. I
mean, it is, but do I put it up there as your top need in the draft? Is it a need
like
in this
4th,
team in the
5th round,
offseason?
6th round.
I mean, honestly,
that's the thing is that if you need a starting caliber center, and to me, you don't need a top flight center. you're going to get your best version of Darisaw coming back, hopefully, and I think that, Jackson at left guard, I think that left side of the offensive line with a healthy Darisaw is pretty damn good. So you need someone serviceable at center. And to me, you can find a veteran that's serviceable in that position. You're not drafting. I don't think you're drafting a center in this draft at all. I don't think you're doing it. I think you can piecemeal the offensive line back together with veterans, and you're addressing that in the off season from the free agent class. That's
you're going to draft. I mean, right now I'm looking at the big board on ESPN. They only got 3 centers listed on their draft board, and the first one comes in from Auburn, 6'3", 300-pound Connor Lure, and they got him ranked 61st overall. So that's definitely something we can.
Day two,
day 3.
And that guy is not starting on your offense.
And they only got 3.
On the big board, they only got 3 centers, 4 offensive tackles, and about 15 about 15 offensive tackles and 4 offensive guards. So we're not looking anywhere in the first round for an offensive lineman.
No, we're picking. Our first 2 picks are going to be defense. They're going to be some of these names that we've just talked about tonight.
And they got to be impact. I mean, I think you said it before there, Bubba. They got to be impact right away. They can't be.
And that's why I'm wondering if you're not necessarily selling the farm. And to me, that's why you can't go all in on the Joe Burrow trade. You would be torching everything that you've been working on building for the last few years to even get that player. Like, it's just not that big of a need. As much as everybody wants to shit on JJ McCarthy and the problems you had, you need a serviceable backup at quarterback. Or someone to push maybe. I don't like the Kyler Murray talk either. I don't think Kyler Murray fits what KOC wants to do. I just don't think it's a good fit.
The thing with the Burrow is, yes. I mean, if Cincinnati called the Vikings and say, hey, we're going to offer Burrow to you for this, you're most likely going to take it unless it's, everything, 20 picks or whatever. The trade has to be.
This is not a mock draft. We are merely profiling the top players at cornerback and safety. Okay. Is this all Packers fans? I see why the Vikings and the Bears are like why we hate Packers fans so much. You guys can listen.
No,
out of your ears, Steve.
I mean,
realistically,
and it's like, okay, that's where I need to sign. Relax, Steve. I didn't even make a comment about Downs. I know he's not even in the picture. I haven't even.
No, it's a dream, and that's why we were talking trade scenarios and maybe what they could do. Because the guy's the top defender. I'm assuming. Is there a defensive? Is there an edge rusher that's above him on the board, or is it 4 quarterbacks and Caleb Downs in the top 5?
No, they got Bailey ranked number 4. Edge rusher out of Texas Tech.
Right. Yeah. So we were merely talking about a possible.
But I mean, the thing is we all, we're sitting here breaking down who we think we're going to pick. There's only one team right now that knows what they're going to do with their first pick, and that's the Raiders. They can play smoke and gun, but I mean, they know who they're taking or what they're going to do. They're the only ones that will set the table. I mean, they can trade out, they can pick somebody.
There you go. That's what they need to do. Trade out.
Oh, I've said that. That's something I hope we get talk about close to the draft, because I got Raiders talk. I mean, you guys might think I'm a Raiders fan after what I'm about to say. So,
but yeah, no, for Caleb Downs, man, it's a dream. Chip chair and a chance, but I'm a realist. He would be, if he's there. Yeah, I'm taking him, but I just don't see him falling. I don't think are we going to trade? Are we going to trade Grenard? Do we trust Dallas Turner fully? Because I mean, in the beginning of the season, middle of the season,
there too. That's a young guy that was supposed to be a stud. But the thing is we know the closer it gets to the draft day, the week of, the day of, the hours before, rumors start flying, and bad reports coming out because some teams that want him are going to leak stuff out, and people are going to believe it. The Raiders might throw everybody a bone and draft the edge rusher and throw everybody's board out of whack. I mean, we're all just speculating here what we would want to do if we had control. I mean,
yeah, and it's not even like what we'd want to do. I'm not saying that I want to trade Jonathan Grenard. We're just looking at the hypotheticals as if you wanted to
would it make sense?
If you were in the position that you wanted to get Caleb Downs and you were going to go, what would that have to look like? And I think these are the conversations that are going on in the draft room is like, hey, if this guy's sitting there at 6 or 7 and we have a little bit of a relationship and we know they're not going to select him, but Dallas is right behind them, what are we talking about? And those calls are happening well before the draft ever happens, right? Yeah. That there's like, hey, if he's fallen to you, you guys aren't going to pick him because you're solid at that position. What would it take? And those are the conversations that are going back and forth between these GMs and, our coaching staff and GMs of other teams at this point.
And that's why I said, I think, like, if he does fall past Cleveland, the Vikings have to be on roll with, starting to make phone calls at 7, 8, 9, 10 and be like, hey, we need to get ahead of the Dallas Cowboys because we know they just traded out a couple people. They're going to be looking at this guy.
Right.
So.
Right. Hey, Kevin, we're talking about how much of the farm we would have to sell to get Caleb Downs on the Vikings.
Now, you remember, Kevin's a Bears fan, so he doesn't care what the Vikings do. He hopes they trade everybody.
Well, the Bears don't care about the draft. They got a team. They're going to the Super Bowl next year. I already know the talk in Chicago. I already know, man. All right, moving on from the Caleb Downs talk. We're going to talk about Dylan Tieneman, safety from Oregon. Dylan Tieneman now at Oregon after breaking out at Purdue is a tackling machine with real coverage chops. About 6 foot, 205. In this past season, he racked up close to 100 tackles with tackles for loss, a sack, and multiple interceptions, all while grading out extremely well in coverage. He quickly diagnoses route concepts and plays with great range, rarely looks out of control. You're getting a high volume, high IQ safety who can stay on the field in any situation and be the quarterback of your back end. B, where's he at on the big board here?
Well, we got Downs at 5. We got Tieneman at 43.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Kevin Cherry, you are out of control, dude. The Bears are not getting like you're drafting what, 25th, 26th?
No, there's a reach there. I mean, Kevin
28. Yeah. You're not. You'd have to trade Caleb Williams to get Caleb Downs.
You would almost have to pull off a semi Ricky Williams trade where you're trading pretty good draft capital to move up to the 5th.
Yeah, it ain't happening. No. Keep dreaming, Kevin. Keep dreaming. Dylan Tieneman, where'd you say he was? B, sorry, I was distracted.
Overall, 43rd ranked on the big board.
Okay,
so there's a big drop from Downs to
possibly in that range for our second round picks. Now we're talking we could move into that position if this guy falls. He wouldn't have to fall a lot. We could be able to gives me headaches.
Well, he's not wrong. He's a big Justin Fields guy. So he's not like.
Okay. Well, where's Justin Fields? Is he still in the league? Fourth string on the Steelers.
Yeah, he's with the Jets.
I liked Fields, man. I don't mean.
But that's the thing is, it's either you gotta reach for Downs or you're not even gonna think safety. You're gonna go day 2 with the safety.
Interesting QB talk here. Could the Vikings end up with a Justin Fields as your competition against JJ and serviceable backup player? That would be interesting.
He's made comments when he was leaving the Bears that he was hoping Minnesota would have reached out. So, but I think Jets locked him up though for this year. I could be wrong. What?
I don't know what that means.
Is he talking like Super Bowl odds? Because that makes sense.
Okay.
But Steve, what kind of cheese you got over there right now?
No kidding.
I think they will get AR-15 if requests a trade. Oh, the Vikings, yeah. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I wouldn't be too upset because it'd be a young guy that had a lot of upside. So it's one of those win-win for Minnesota if the price is right. You know,
Who's that?
AR from the Colts to be the backup.
Oh, Richardson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, like I said, Cody, I'm not for it, but I'm not against it if the price is right.
what's the
No, but he
like,
just doesn't fit. The inaccuracy issues, yeah, the guy can throw it a whole football field length, but he throws it a whole football field length when he's on the 50. And the
Yeah.
ball sails into the stands. Like,
Yeah.
of course
No.
he's requesting a trade. He's out. He's out.
Yeah.
Trade value numbers. Okay. Steve said the numbers that he said was trade value numbers. So I on those boards.
Yeah. The old Jimmy Johnson and what's his face's
Right.
trade
So to
value.
get up to that level, you would essentially have to come up with 700 or 800 points essentially
Yeah.
to get up to that level. And you're talking about a solid player or some serious draft capital. So
Yeah.
see,
yeah. What do we got on Dylan Tieneman? Cody, you got any notes on him?
Just strong range and playmaking instincts. Ideal for late rotations and disguised shells.
That sounds like a B-flow guy to me, right?
Well, I mean, the projection I got for the Flores role projection, a deep safety and rotation specialist. So I mean,
Reading his profile sounded like a Harrison Smith replacement. Now, obviously, I'm not projecting him to have a 15-year career quarterbacking a defense and having that kind of impact, but the role was very much the same.
But I think I'm excited for this next guy.
Okay, you want to jump right into it?
Yeah, let's go. Let's see if you
All right.
got him.
Next one is Emmanuel McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo.
Yeah.
Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo is one of the small school risers in this safety class, roughly 6'2", just over 200 pounds, brings an NFL frame with real range on the back end. He's produced with solid tackle numbers and a couple of picks. What stands out is how fluid he moves for his size and how much ground he can cover from hash to sideline. He's comfortable playing deep, rolling down as a robber, or matching up on tight ends. McNeil Warren is the kind of prospect who could outplay this draft slot and become a steady starter. B, what do we got on his big board?
Dog.
Hold on here. I just went to a different page. People are texting me. His big board spot. He's right after Tillman there at 44. So
okay, so in the range where the Vikings will be able to draft. So matching that, these cornerbacks were higher up on the list. And to me, that's why I've said, and it seems that the board is going to fall this way. I would see them, if their guy is there that they like at those two positions, they're going to trade those later round picks that they have doubled up, and they're going to move up to get their guy at these two positions. If I have that, because of the way the board is falling, and it probably will fall in this way, you have two players at this safety position that fit the B-flow profile. I think you're going to end up with two of the 4 or 5 players that we've talked about in this range of where we're picking. You're probably going to end up with a couple of these names. And I think you go defense in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, his size and downhill physicality, he's got that hybrid linebacker safety trait to him. Strong tackler. The projection I have for him is that box safety blitzer, hybrid defender. That's what
with that length, he can make up for it if he's bailing out of the blitz and being able to get back and still make a play on the ball if they do try to take a shot, because that's almost what you're baiting them into. And I think that's what Harrison was always really good at, was the late bail. You come up in the box early, you show the blitz, and then you're able to fall back and to make that one-handed, tip, even if it's just tipping it into the air for one of your other guys to make a play on it. You're able to make a play on the ball because the quarterback has already selected, especially a young quarterback, where they're going with it. right? They see the safety come up. They're going, I'm going right at that hole. He bails at the last second. They don't see it because they're maybe trying to look it off, and they're throwing to a spot. And now you got a guy with a 6'2" frame who's able to jump up and to make a play on that ball, whether he's intercepting it himself or just tipping it up for, one of these kind of ball hawking, linebacker or cornerbacks that are in this hybrid defense. I think there's some value here.
Absolutely. I would be shocked if we didn't take advantage of this. If he falls to us, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I think
Steve is in agreement with us.
Wow.
So I'm terrified.
That's why going back to Bubba, your comments earlier. Well, the Vikings' first 2 picks cannot be reaches. They have to be set. I mean, you can't. If the Vikings are serious about moving up to get Caleb Downs, this guy's out. These next 2 safeties are out of questions because you're going to waste a lot to move up to get Caleb Downs. So unless they're sold on it, I'd like to see them move towards one of these 2 guys that we just spoke of.
It's Darth Norspius now. Nice. And I appreciate being saved, brother. If you're going to throw me over your shoulders and run me out of the jungle, there's nobody else I'd rather have do it, man.
Yeah.
Love you, man. Oh, even got a what up to Steve. Steve's been talking some trash as usual, but it's all good. We let him hang out.
But yeah, definitely the Vikings. They got to hit. They got to hit whatever pick they got. They have to hit, especially
they
the first
need to be
pick.
scheme fits, and they need to be as close to a sure thing as you can get. They got to be B-flow guys, and that's definitely my take on what we need to do at these positions. Let's kind of cruise through the last couple of these players that we got on the board here. The couple last ones that I have here, AJ Halsey, safety out of LSU.
Yep.
So a little profile on Halsey here. AJ Halsey from LSU is a pure playmaker at safety, around 5'11", 200 pounds. He's an instinctive defender who consistently finds his way to the football. He puts up around 70 tackles and multiple interceptions, and he shows a knack for reading quarterbacks and jumping routes. Halsey plays fast. He's aggressive coming downhill, and he brings real energy to the defense. His profile as a versatile safety who can give you ball skills on the back end and still be trusted as a run-fit player. B, where you got him on the big board?
Big board's got him at 74 overall.
Okay, so you're talking a day 3 guy, or
he definitely sounds like he could fit what Minnesota does, especially with Harrison Smith, getting, running up the middle and trying to get, that sack and stuff. He might find himself on special teams as a gunner, for the first few years until he gets his shot. But definitely sounds like a guy that once he gets his shot, you're not taking it away from him. So,
yeah, Steve, great question here. Who's making the draft picks? To me, I think it's by committee. I think it is really B-Flow and KOC going into this together and going, what makes our team better right now? And I think they and see Norspius. I know that Rob Brzezinski is the de facto GM. It seems like he's a cap guy. I think he's going to really be on the side of getting the team cap compliant, getting them into a position where they can sign these draft picks and add to the team in that way. I don't know how much he's going to be really. I mean, he's obviously going to be present in the war room, but I don't think, I think it's by committee. I don't think it's a yes man. I think KOC and B-Flow, I think there's a lot of respect there. And I don't think this is KOC's only decision. I think it's by committee. If we were in the room, obviously we would know better, but I think there's a respect there between KOC and B-Flow of to sit down and to address what is best for this team as a whole. And I think what's best for this team is to grow the offense with and we'll get into maybe some conversations between maybe picking a tight end over cornerback in round 1 or a tight end in round 2. We'll talk about that. I don't know if the value's there, and maybe be tight ends on the big board. Just kind of rattle off a few that are on there just so we can kind of get a look at where the big board is at.
They got Keenan Sarad from Oregon, overall ranked 32. And then after that, you got Max Clare from Ohio State at 41. So
Good question, Steve.
either
Good
one of those
question.
guys would be, Steve, we're all wondering the same thing. Norse Fias, both these guys are actually in Cannon Falls, Minnesota. So they're both like practically neighbors. Cannon Falls ain't that big.
Yep. Nope. No, we're right in Cannon Falls off of 52. So
right. So you got the two tight ends that would be in that range, being early day 2 picks that maybe you're talking instead of one of these safeties that we've hit on, you're talking about taking a tight end there. That all depends on how the board falls. I think if they're not trading up in round 1 and packaging that round 2 pick, you're probably sitting still. You don't have the draft capital to move up a whole lot of spots. And I don't see them trading up to take the tight end. I think it really becomes a conversation only if the guy is there. And they would have to be really, really high on this guy, because I think you're going to be able to find a serviceable time. Like, you can improve at tight end from what you had last year with a lot of guys that may be in free agency, right? You got almost zero production from your tight end position last year.
Yeah. And the thing is, and we've stated it over and over again, you just did, this board's going to jump around all over the place. I mean, so there might be people that are in the mid second day that moved up to in the first round, and we're going to see people that we think are going to be solid first round picks, like Caleb Downs, that may drop, to a second day pick. So, there's a lot, but I think that
if we could get him to drop to 10 to be in range for a play to move up 8 spots,
hey, you never know. I mean, with social media, like, people can
get have to punch his mama on camera to drop to the second round. Come on.
I think the pick, though, like you said, Bubba, is going to come from both of them. I think they're probably doing a lot of research like we are. They're probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they're using chat PTT or, the chat too. And just, and drawing up their own board. And then when it comes to their pick, they'll be like, okay, we got player A and player B. What do we want to do? And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if their first 20 picks are 90% defensive players right now.
Well, and I think what it comes down to, Southwest Minnesota, that puts you out in kind of my range, Norse Fias. I'm out here in Southeast South Dakota. So kind of playing, we're probably the closest to one another physically, although you may be a little closer to Cannon Falls yet than where I'm at down here.
You said he's from Marshall?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, they're looking at ranges, and I think that's what we're going to focus on when we get closer to doing our mock drafts and getting our own war room going on, is it's going to be ranges of players on that big board and in the team need and reach and different things like that. And I'm looking forward to really having those in-depth conversations. Today, what we're doing is just kind of looking at some profiles, what players in the top 5 of each position fit this team, and to do those kind of things in there. So,
yeah. Yeah, for AJ, because we're still on AJ. Thick physical build. This is what I got: thick physical build, natural downhill presence, strong run fit, and blitz upside. His Flores role projection. I got box safety, pressure safety, and a dime linebacker hybrid.
And who's he talking about?
AJ Halsey.
Okay. Yep.
So, but I'm actually excited about this 5th guy. I don't know if you have it on your list, Bubba, but is he from Penn State?
I got a safety nickel from Miami. Keontae Scott is the last one on my board. But who's the player that you're talking about?
Okay, so I'm gonna Big B. I'm gonna need your help on this one. I'm gonna butcher the first name. It's Zakee, Zakee Wheatley from Penn State.
Dude, probably Zeke. Probably that's how I would do.
Yeah, 6'3", 200 pounds. I mean, he's got length and range, and that can, length plus range equals disguised weapon.
Where'd you say he was from?
Penn State. Developmental upside. The Flores role projection that he's got would be a rotational deep safety and a matchup safety at 6'3". Oh, put him on any linebacker or something. You know what I'm saying?
What
Like,
Orspia says, Zaki.
okay, because and obviously this one, I don't know his grade or like what he's on the big board, but this is probably like a 5th, 6th round dude that you develop. He's
overall 83 on the big board. He's the 5th on the position rank, but yeah, it's definitely somebody that, you know, Cody, like you said,
Cody doesn't even care about
like
first through third rounds. All the guys that he's hyped about are freaking day 4 picks.
Well, I mean, but
he's a realist, so he knows it's going to take value for the Vikes to move up. I mean, you know.
Well, yeah. I feel like there's a couple of players that we've talked about, maybe not the top player at the position, but a lot of these 2, 3, the second and third players on this top 5 list that I had put together were guys that are going to be in range for these Vikings picks. Will they maybe have to trade one of the 6 rounders to move up? Possibly, but we need multiple swings at these positions of need. For me, I don't mind watching them take a swing early at cornerback and a swing late, and a swing early at safety and a swing late. Like, you have to hit on these positions of need, and you have to do it now. You don't need to pick a player. Oh, well, we already drafted a corner. Who gives a shit? You need one of them to hit. It might be the later round guy that ends up being the guy, right? But you have to kind of have a sure thing and a backup plan to your positions of need this year.
But hey, fellas, I'm gonna have to get going. We got a defensive Zoom call. We got to get right for this next game.
Right. Well, tell the guys congrats.
Better pitch another shutout.
Oh, you already know it. You know how we do it. All right. Hey, fellas, y'all have a great night.
Win, man. Can't wait to cover more.
Absolutely. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah, and honestly, I like to try to find the gems, but Vikings at the point, and just like a couple other teams, they're at the point where they have to hit. They can't reach for the stretches early on in the draft. I mean, they have to hit, a nice triple or something off these guys. I mean, it doesn't have to be the long ball, but they got to hit a guy that's going to be in the system for a while.
Right. Well, let's cover Keontae Scott here before.
I don't even see it on the big board.
Crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, we're getting down to the top 5, and he's a safety nickel here is what they had. So you're talking about guys they're sliding here. So
yeah, they got him on the big board as a corner right now at 39. So
okay, so Keontae Scott of Miami is a modern hybrid defensive back, part safety, part nickel, part matchup piece. He's long time in the slot, rotated deep, and even been used as a blitzer, putting up solid tackle production and a couple of interceptions. What you love is the versatility. He can cover shifty slots, hold up in zone, and still be effective near the line of scrimmage. In today's NFL, where you're defending spread looks and tight ends who move like wideouts, Scott gives a coordinator a ton of flexibility on the chalkboard. So once again, yeah, they have him as a corner, number 39. He's in range. Don't be surprised. I know we kind of have him as a safety on our talk tonight, but don't be surprised if this is a pick in that second round for the Vikings and somebody that they're going after.
But and that's the thing too. He can play safety. He can play the nickel. He can play the corner. Heck,
oh man, sounds like a B-Flow freaking dream, man.
Yeah, you might even be able to slide him in at linebacker on with certain teams and coverages and stuff. So I always like the guys that can play 2-3 different positions. So I'd be all in on this guy. Later in the second day, move up. But right now we named off 10 guys. 1, 2 maybe might be out of the reach for the Vikings, but definitely 8 of them are going to be sitting there with Minnesota picking, and we might get 2-3 of them, like you said. Unless they reach for Caleb Downs. I mean, I think we're going to come out with a good couple DBs here.
It feels like the people that we've talked about, that 6 of these guys at least are in play for the Vikings, right? Yeah. Or maybe more, right? Yeah. And maybe 8 of the 10, and Cody threw in a few others as well, later round picks. I just had GPT to put me to give me the top 5 corners, top 5 safeties. Give me a little profile on them, and let's.
I would say, I mean, Downs is probably your stretch. I mean, yes, he's probably everybody's eyeing him and see where he's going to go. And of course, if he falls at 18 and you don't lose nothing, you're taking him. I mean, unless, like you said, unless something seriously comes out from it. But if he falls to you on your lap at 18, you might as well just think Santa Claus and, say,
yeah,
yep,
that's not happen, man. Too many people that don't even need him would be picking him ahead of that place. It would be a massive trade up and a huge surprise if Caleb Downs ended up, with the Vikings. But that's what we're here. We're here to talk about scenarios and what it may take for them to do. And yeah, I'm not into reaching and trading up for a guy that is that hybrid. If he falls to you and the other guys are gone, I think you're happy to take him. Speaking about the Keontae Scott, I think if he kind of falls to us in that second round, in that spot we're picking in, what I say, 45 or 49, right? I would rather see them. I want to see them get a lockdown corner. I mean, to me, that's really that first pick that I want to see them make, or one of these safeties that are going to be a long-term starter at that, kind of strong safety role. So to me, you have your A and Bs on both. And if you end up with your 1B in either the corner or the safety in the first round, you have to take them. And that's my take on it. Like, you have to take one of those 4 players that we have in that range in that first round. And then the second round guy becomes one of these other players that we've talked about that are in that secondary, right? That are in that range, that match up with what we're doing. And,
and again, we're only talking 2 positions right now. There's still, to
me, these are the top 2 needs. I think
exactly.
Focus needs to be put on this. You have to get them right. You have to fill them. I don't think that it's outside of these things, and the running back talk, running backs, like Jordan Mason is your starter, I think. And you're getting maybe a young guy in the 3rd or 4th round to fill in and to hopefully give you some carries at that. I think that's where they need to go. Metellus and Ward, guys still on this team, right? I feel you, Norsfius, that you're looking for guys that can go and do the job now. You're looking for role players in a specific position so you can move Metellus and Ward back into their hybrid spots, because asking Metellus to be your all-time free safety this year wasn't working, right? It was pulling him out of what he did good. He was your hybrid guy to come in, be able to cover a tight end, but also be able to be someone that you can drop into coverage and maybe get in there and to come up with a lot of tackles. So, what I want to see is having to get a true outside corner first, or a true strong safety, and hopefully both. I mean, the dream scenario is that you fill both of those needs with your first 2 picks, and then you're kind of how the rest of the draft goes. Who gives a shit? If you feel like you've got 2 starters on the defensive secondary out of the first and second rounds, you are very, very happy with how your draft went, regardless of how the rest of the draft goes.
Well, and that's the thing too, is, like you said, you get 2, starters in the first 2 rounds. You still got that draft capital. If there's a 3rd guy sneaking around late, that second round, early third, you may want to move up and get that 3rd, stud on the defense. I think the Vikings are going to be focusing a lot on defense. The one thing that hurts the Vikings right now is we have to bank on these draft picks. We can't be like, oh, we can draft this guy, but yet we can go out and get person A from the free agent market because we got cap value. Right now we have no cap value. So anybody talking about free agents coming here, show me how, and I'll be all for it. But right now we're so far over the cap that we have to bank on these guys being and get some playing time in 2026-27. So.
Yeah, and I know that center was a need on that list as well. I think they're pretty confident that they maybe have something there, or a veteran presence. They're going to make room. There's deals to be made to get them under cap compliance. It was pretty easy to do. When I watched Purple Daily go through and do their kind of big board and initial thing, it was relatively easy with a few cuts to get cap compliant and to have enough money to sign all of your draft picks, right?
Yep.
So I think that's going to be very easy. Now, I think the hard conversations are you trying to restructure a Hawkinson deal? Are you trying to restructure an Aaron Jones? I think both of those guys are probably cooked as far as what it is, especially with Jones kind of suffering that ankle injury at the end of the year. The guy's 31, 32.
Something like that, yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, I think my money would be Jones is, gone. Hutchinson, as much as we sponsor his copy, TJ Hawkinson's probably going to be a cap casualty unless they can restructure and get a lot of that money back. Addison, I think we all agree that we'd be okay with him taking a step away.
Does Addison turn into another second round or third round pick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now that we know that the Chargers got dropped, if you could get a second out of Jordan Addison, I think you're taking it all day. All day. I think you are running to the table.
I think a second or a third or maybe, maybe I'm smoking a little bit of the cheese that Steve was smoking, but somebody at 30, 31, 32 that says, hey, we'll take Addison if, because we had nobody we want to draft here at 31 anyways. So, maybe, but I love this time of year. I just, all this talk and the combine's coming up here, a couple weeks, I think. The senior game, and then, and honestly, I'm one that I kind of hate the combine too at the same time because you're judging these guys without pads on, they're hitting, can they shuffle this way, and the interview process. I mean, to me, we got all the film on them, but I mean, this just hypes up more. It gets a lot of people talking. Steve will probably still be talking up a storm up until the Packers pick their kicker this year. So,
and right now, Norse Fias, we have 3 day 2 picks. So we have 49, 82, and 97, a 1 second and 2 thirds. And if we could trade back possibly at 82, because that's the 18th, and maybe get a couple of players that are in that range. Maybe trading up one of these 2, we have a 5th, a 6th, and 2 7ths. Yep. I don't know what that would look like. I think if you can trade Addison for a second, I think you're likely to get to 4. I think we can get 4 day 2 picks. I don't think 5 or 6 is a possibility, but I think Addison can net you. He's going to get you a 2. If you could squeeze somebody for a second and a late third, or even a second and a 4th, I think that would be massive. I mean, he was a first round talent. He still has the speed. You're definitely trying to fleece a team. I think if you're asking for a second and a 4th, of which I don't think
you're really trying to. I don't think you're trying to fleece a team. I think you just try to find that team that is like, hey, we've done good with rehabilitating these players or giving this player a second chance.
Or we just don't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think we brought it up. The Raiders would probably be the perfect place for this guy to land, or Dallas. But, Addison, I mean, I don't want to see him off the team, but, we talked about before, if you got to get rid of the headache.
Yeah,
I mean, headache-wise, yes, we want him off the team. But talent-wise, no, we don't want him off the team. But we have to get rid of the headache.
I only really want to see him gone if you're able to make a deal with Speedy. Like, if you're able to get in right now, and maybe those are talks that are ongoing right now where you are talking and like, hey, buddy, like, we got the chemistry. We got things going. We know you had a great year. Like, we really want to keep you here. We want you to be our, we want you to be wide receiver 2, or, 2-3 slotted in there, because we just don't have the cap space to go and get a wide receiver 2 right now. And to me, Jordan Addison hasn't played like a number 2 for a couple of years.
No.
So I don't think he's that guy. And with the off the field issues, I just don't think he's worth the headache. I don't think you're going to get a 1-for-1 trade with him to get another wide receiver 2 in the building. So you trade him for another day 2 pick. Maybe there's a wide receiver in the second round that you have your eye on that we can talk about. I know I've said that, we're not going to draft a wide receiver out here. But if you see,
but again, too, we also had the rookie we drafted last year in Felton. That's a wide receiver. That they get
another
much
small, speedy guy, though, right?
Yeah.
Felton's a smaller guy. I feel like you have a lot of that. A lot of these guys that are in that, which I see as more of a wide receiver 3 role. Like you have to be able to compete. Because of what we talked about at the cornerback position, right? All the cornerbacks are over 6 foot tall.
Yeah,
so you can't put a guy on the outside that is matching up against someone who's 2 inches taller than he is and can run just as fast.
No, that's the whole thing. I mean, we all know that right now JJ is your number 1. He ain't going nowhere. No matter how many people can throw out great.
No matter how many times Steve is trying to trade him, it's not happening, dude.
Yeah, no. I mean, right now, to me, there's only a handful of players that are untouchable right now on the Vikings. Anybody calls for any of them, you're listening. You're hanging up the phone if it's a JJ or if it's the kicker or even McCarthy. I might hang up on.
I love that on this team, the kicker is a hard no. We're like,
exactly,
not happening.
Exactly, but.
Not happening.
Yeah.
B, since you got the big board and everything pulled up, who are the wide receivers that we'll kind of be talking about next? Give me the top 5 wide receivers on the big board.
On the big board,
we're going to talk about next week.
Yeah. So on the big board, we got Arizona State's wide receiver Jordan Tyson. He's the first overall on the wide receiver side, but 9th overall on the big board. You got Ohio State's Cardell Tate, 6'3". Oh, wait, let's go back. So, Tyson's 6'2". Tate's 6'3", 195 out of Ohio State. He's ranked number 11th overall, 2nd as a receiver. You got Mikey Lemon out of USC, 5'11", 195. So, again, now you're thinking, receiver number 3, return guy. 15th ranked overall, 3rd on the wide receiver side. Number 4, Denzel Boston from Washington, 6'4", 205. Overall rank on the big board is 24th. Position-wise, he's ranked 4th. Definitely like the size on that. I can't wait to hear the recap on him. And then number 5 is Zachariah Branch, 5'10", 180 out of Georgia, 31st overall rank, and then 5th on the position. So those are your top 5 receivers as of today.
Yeah, and I mean, the only one that I feel like is really in play there is the one, was it from, what did you say, Boston, BC? The 6'4" kid?
Oh, from Washington, yeah.
Washington.
Denzel Boston, yeah. Let me just pull up his stats here. So last year he had 11 touchdowns, 881 yards, 62 receptions. He's only a junior, so you're looking at what, 20, 21, 20, 19, 20? But so far,
get a little bit bigger. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's like an AJ Brown kind of model that you're hoping he can grow into.
Yeah. So I mean, the last two seasons, last year, 62 receptions, 881. The year before that, 63 receptions, 834 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns in 2024. So definitely a guy that hasn't played much in college.
Out there in Washington, wasn't it? Wasn't he the quarterback the last few years?
Yeah, I think so. You could be right on that one. So, but definitely a guy that can put ball on, averages, 13 to 14 yards per reception.
He's in play around that Vikings. I think that maybe becomes a tough conversation because of the value of the wide receiver picks. I would prefer that they get the cornerback because I think it's more of a need. But I'm guessing those are going to be where KOC and B-Flow are butting heads and going back and forth, is a big-bodied receiver or the shutdown corner. And if both those guys are on the board at that time, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I think we've already mentioned the names of who's going to be the Vikings first-round pick in our show tonight. whether it's at the safety, the cornerback, or possibly that wide receiver. I don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on someone like that being in that position. I would see them probably wait until the second round, possibly get someone that's a little more developmental, because you have a speedy and you don't need there. You need someone that can be serviceable out on that wide receiver 2 side.
The only way I see the Vikings take this guy in the first round is, like you said, their top defensive guy, the defensive backs are gone.
Yeah, all of them, right?
And then they kind of move down into the mid-20s, get maybe another second day pick or something, flip-flop first, and they move down to where they're like, hey, we could sacrifice, we could drop a few picks, get another pick, and take this receiver, pair him up with Jetta.
Yeah, and for Norsevius, maybe that's how they come up with a couple more, day 2 picks in the second and third, trading back a couple of picks to say, hey, man, our top guys aren't. And that's some of the things that people don't think about with these drafts and the mock drafts and everything that you're doing. You don't have to stay. And if the guys that you really want, and you're looking at how do we improve our team, and it could be this player, and then getting more picks could be that third option, right? To go, hey, we don't even care about who we draft in those next 5 guys, right? We're willing to move back 5 spots, and another team is willing to give us a second and a third to move up from the bottom and from the 30s up to that spot. The talks become interesting at that point. So
because you got to think the teams that are drafting, 20 to 30 or 25 to 30, their team's solid, but they also got to look for the future too and be like, hey, our guys are getting older, so maybe we do want to sacrifice and move up a little bit. Where
and their players that have gone to the playoffs now are getting more expensive. Right. I think that's something that a lot of people miss on as well.
And that could be something too, as much as you don't trade within the division, maybe that's something the Vikes Bears talk about in flip-flopping picks, and we move down and, they get their guy. I mean, they're not getting downs like Kevin wants, but,
the Rams may be a trade partner in there because of KOC's relationship and those doors being open now. So who knows, man? You might get a little bit of a haul out of that team. Now, granted, they might be late second and third round picks, but picks are picks. Flip-flop a first and pick up a 2
and that's the thing is too.
Now you got the 5, maybe 6 if you trade Addison, and it's playing right into Norsevius's scenario.
Well, and that's the whole thing too, is Addison might fit with the Niners, with the way they like to run these gadget plays and stuff like that. Maybe that's something he fits into. I mean, these phones, I mean, I would hate to see how many calls they take a day. I mean, I work in a call center and I take, quite a few calls a day, but I mean, these guys probably are taking, 50 by the time they wake up until probably lunchtime, and then maybe another 50 or so at dinner time. I mean, yeah, it'd be fun to talk with some of these guys that sit in these draft meetings and just, hear what goes on.
Well, B, it sounds like we're going to get our chance, buddy, because things are playing out very, very well for all of us, man. Yeah. Guys, I got to piss like a racehorse, man. I got to get the hell out of here.
All right.
I had a great time talking ball tonight, talking with everybody, celebrating a big dub from the Wyoming Cavalry with Coach Cody. We got some new graphics. I don't know if you guys have been checking these out, but we got some new stuff.
I actually like the other one you sent me. I like the one with the
we'll go through them all, dog. I don't even care.
Well, you gotta go take care of a little bit of your own business, but
we got this one with the ships. Did you like this one?
I like that one.
With the guy here, did you like this one?
Yeah, that's the one I like. That's the one I like. And I kind of wish that was
because he kind of looks like you. Like if you let your beard go and you could grow hair, that could be you.
No, I definitely would. I kind of wish that was kind of the Vikings logo instead of just a horn. I mean, that could kind of be a sweet face to put on the side of the helmet. And maybe we got connections. Some of that could draw that up on a painting or something. I don't know. I mean, but that would be a killer.
Where were you guys tuning in before you tuned in tonight? Norsevius and 6-shooter.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Or I literally just had I had Higgsfield, which is an AI software I use. I was like, hey, take the VU, our original one, and I was just like, rethink these and threw it out there at it and had it spit out 4 different things. And I was like, damn, I like all 4 of those.
Yeah, no, I definitely like this one. I this if I could generate this on a Madden, this would be my Vikings logo right here.
Nice. Well, we hope that you guys okay, nice. Well, you know what? We appreciate you guys tuning in with us. We respect your takes on ball, and we have a good time, man, building this community out, talking ball, you know, keeping you know, and tonight was just a I know Steve didn't get it, what we were trying to do, but tonight was just kind of profiling some of the players at positions of need for the Vikings, kind of starting with the DBs, because we see that as somewhere that they're going to be heavy in the draft and really analyzing. So trying to look at it as if we were the front office, profiling players and checking out what time we've been. So,
yeah. I mean, we definitely got a lot of time to break down because the first night of the draft is April 23rd.
Man, be here before we know it.
Yeah. So, yep, exactly.
Awesome, man. Well, appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you all next Tuesday for Vikings United. We got a lot more football coverage coming for the Wyoming Cavalry. We're going to have to work those out and some dates. We're talking with DFA, Developmental Football Association in Minnesota as well, about covering their league. So a lot more ball coming from the Scene Project Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you go get some merch, man. Support the show. Go to shop.thesceneprojects.com. Check out everything we got going on over there. B, thanks for being with me, man. Being along on this ride. We got a bright future ahead of us, and
we sure do.
I can't wait to share it with y'all. So this is Bubba Starts for Big B and Coach Cody, who already dipped out to a coaches meeting. Signing off for tonight. We'll see y'all next Tuesday for Vikings United. See you guys.
Yep.
As we cheer on our Minnesota Vikings, let's also recognize true heroes. Pillars of Valor Coffee isn't just about exceptional taste. It's a veteran-owned company with a powerful mission. With every purchase, you're directly contributing to programs that empower and support veterans and first responders. Imagine starting your day with a rich, bold coffee that also fuels a vital cause. Pillars of Valor Coffee is dedicated to making a tangible impact, honoring those who've served our nation and communities. Join them in their mission. Visit pillarsofvalor.com to learn more and get your bag today. Pillars of Valor Coffee. Great coffee, greater purpose.